The distance in feet that a freely falling dropped object falls in t seconds is given by the equation d divided by 16 is equal to t squared. Now, we are talking about distance and time. The d is going to represent distance, the t is going to represent time. How long does it take a dropped object to fall 64 feet? They've gave you the original equation, d over 16 equals t squared. They took the distance, 64, and they plugged it in for d, giving you 64 over 16 is equal to t squared. Do your division first. 64 divided by 16 is 4. So 4 is equal to t squared. We want to know t, not t squared. So take the square root from both sides, because anything you do to the left, you have to do to the right. When you take the square root of 4, you get positive 2. Now, why is negative 2 not up there? Because you cannot have a negative 2 in time. Okay? Cannot have a negative 2, just positive. Number 17. The area of the top of a cube is 9 square meters. What is the volume of the cube? Now, when we was going over the example problems, I talked about how they drew a diagram. Diagrams are very helpful. So if you want to see what they're talking about, draw yourself a cube. The area of the top face, that would be this guy here, okay, that's the top. That area is 9 meters squared. So area equals 9. That is not the volume of the box. That's the surface area of the lid. They want to know what is the volume. Now, area is equal to side squared. So we have a two-dimensional answer. We need to know the volume. We want to know volume. Volume is a three-dimensional answer. We can't go from 2 to 3 without knowing what the side length is. So we're going to use area to find out the side measure for one side of this cube. We'll take our 9 and we'll replace A with 9, giving us 9 is equal to side squared. Now we just need to solve for the side. Take the square root, because a square root cancels a square. Anything we do to the right, we have to do to the left, so we'll take the square root of 9 as well. Now the square root cancels the square, leaving us with just s. And the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 makes 9. So now we know that the side length is 3. That means that this side is 3, this side is 3, and that third dimension is also 3. To find volume, we use the formula side cubed. So we'll have V is equal to S, which we just said is 3, cubed. And 3 times 3 times 3 makes 27 meters, and it is cubed now. And that is the volume of your box. The length of each edge of a cube is x centimeters. If x is an integer, why can't the volume of the cube equal 15 centimeters cubed? Now, we're talking about a cube again. And they're telling you that the length of each side is x. So all three of those would be x. If x is an integer, why can't the volume of the cube equal 15 centimeters cubed? Now, volume would be equal to x cubed. They're saying, why can't that volume be equal to 15? Is 15 a perfect cube? If we factor this, we would have 3 times 5. Is 3 times 5 a perfect cube? Yes. It is not. We do not have 3 factors of 3 or 3 factors of 5. So this can't be 15 because 15 is not a perfect cube. 15 is not a perfect cube. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, why can't it just be some decimal that would give us 15? But they put stipulations in the problem. They said that if x is an integer, why can't it be 15? If you remember what an integer is, you know that an integer is all of the positive and negative whole numbers and 0. Whole numbers cannot have decimals or fractions. Okay? 15 has a cube root, but it is not perfect, so it cannot be an integer. So x cannot be an integer. And that's it on 18. A lot of these questions come down to knowing your vocabulary. Okay, integers are review from last year. All of your positive and negative whole numbers and 0. Number 19. Yesterday there were B milligrams of bacteria in a lab experiment. Today there are B squared milligrams of bacteria. If there are 400 milligrams today, how many milligrams of bacteria were there yesterday? So B squared is equal to 400. They want to know how much is B. So we need to know the square root of 400. Now you could factor it, or you could work through these examples. 20 is one of them, so I'm going to try 20. 20 goes into 400 20 times, which is a perfect square, telling us that B is equal to 20. Eva chose B as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? Eva did 10 times 200, which is not a square root. She just divided by 2. Eva divided by 2. Eva divided by 2. Don't do that, Eva. Don't divide by 2.